I was not only extraordinarily honored to serve under Nelson Mandela as a person who had nothing but privilege, being born under apartheid in South Africa, as the son of a Holocaust survivor who lost 39 members of her family at Auschwitz and Theresienstadt, I was also the first member of parliament in the history of the South African parliament to introduce a motion on the Holocaust. I have had the privilege of writing about and lecturing about genocide prevention at Auschwitz itself, so was able to see where my relatives were murdered. And it almost goes without saying, but has to be said, that we are here today to say we have zero tolerance for racism of any sort, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or any other form of discrimination. But I personally am here as a Jewish member of the Labour Party to say that Jeremy Corbyn is as much a racist or an anti-Semite as was my former boss, Nelson Mandela. And it is because of their lifelong commitment to anti-racism that united them in their opposition to apartheid in South Africa, to the brutal, illegal occupation of the Palestinian territories, and to all violations of human rights wherever they occurred and whomsoever perpetrated them. The Jewish community in Britain is, like all communities, wonderfully diverse, religiously, culturally, and of course politically. There are hundreds of Jewish members of the Labour Party who unequivocally support Jeremy Corbyn and his handling of anti-Semitism. There are swathes of members of the broader Jewish community, including a significant number of Orthodox rabbis who support Jeremy Corbyn and his handling of anti-Semitism and all racism. But there is an attempt by the mainstream media in this country, and very sadly at the moment, by the leadership of the Labour Party, to wish away left-wing Jews, to behave as though we do not exist and should not, therefore, have a voice. That is an attempt to do away with the extraordinary tradition of Jewish socialism and support for liberation movements from Pretoria to Palestine. In fact, I would argue that the mainstream media and the right wing of the Labour Party have exhibited the most extreme manifestation that I have come across. And remember, this is in the age of Donald Trump, the most extreme manifestation of what Edward Said described as power repeating untruths until they have the force of truth. We will not and we cannot be silenced. We will not and cannot allow the truth to become untruth. As a consequence, a group of prominent Jews in the United Kingdom is considering launching a legal review of the EHRC report into anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. You can read about this and support it at truthdefense.org. As the wonderful Jewish revolutionary Victor Serge once wrote, after all, there is such a thing as truth. And the truth is that Jeremy Corbyn is the most anti-racist politician currently sitting in the British Parliament. A Holocaust survivor, Irina Klepfis, who as a child survived the Warsaw Ghetto, where she lost both her parents and her only sibling, wrote, "I have concluded that one way to pay tribute to those we loved, who struggled, resisted, and died, is to hold on to their fierce outrage at the destruction of the ordinary life of their people. It is this outrage we must use to fuel our actions and vision whenever we see signs of the disruptions of common life, the hysteria of a mother grieving for a teenager who has been shot, a family stunned in front of a vandalized or demolished home. Because of our experience, we recognize these evils as obstacles to peace and justice. At these moments of recognition, we remember the past, feel the outrage that inspired the Jews of the Warsaw Ghetto, and allow it to guide us in our present struggles. In conclusion, let me say that in the mid-1980s, again as a privileged white South African, I took the decision to leave my country to avoid serving in the apartheid military. If anyone had told me then that 5 years later, Nelson Mandela would be out of jail, the ANC would be unbanned, I would have offered them my services as a clinical psychologist. But that is what happened. Because of the organization of the ordinary people of South Africa in every street of every township and every squatter settlement, we overcame over 350 years of racist oligarchy. At this dark time, in the struggle for socialism in the UK, in the struggle for anti-racism, never doubt that just like Nelson Mandela and the ANC, we will rise again. Thank you.